happy to have you here. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the last few, which I've had a couple editing videos, and then I had my first trailer showing that I was getting ready to create the channel. Today I'm just going to actually be talking about some stuff that's been going on in the photography community, but also just kind of a reflection on the last year for me. I've actually stepped away from doing this middle of last year. Actually had a really horrific car accident at the end of last year. Totaled out my car completely, and I wasn't able to get out much this year, but thankfully I've been able to get out with being able to, have friends who wanted to help and take me to places to go shoot videos and not shoot videos, but shoot photos and create videos. And I got back into landscape photography about 3 months ago. I started pursuing it and really pushing myself to be a better landscape photographer, but also to do it differently this time than I have in the past, because I've had issues with a variety of different things in my life that's caused a variety of different things to happen with things and stuff. So that was the big thing I wanted to do. I wanted to do it differently. And I kind of set some goals out to do things to make it better and easier for myself to just be a better photographer and to pursue this differently, because I told myself I'm going to do this and I'm actually going to go full time. Like, my goal is to step away from the corporate world of work where I do call center work in healthcare, and to step into being a full-time landscape photographer and educator through classes online, through YouTube, teaching, selling photos and all of that. And the last 3 months, and it's been roughly about 3 months now, I started to pursue some stuff in September, working on myself and working on ideas I had for everything. Even wrote out a 5-year complete plan from starting next year to 5 years from there, so 2028, of how I would go from being full-time work to, my goal was to be in a full-time photographer, producing YouTube content, doing sales through prints, and then doing a variety of different things to make things better for myself, because photography to me is one of the biggest stress relievers that I have. I don't get stressed out with waking up and knowing I'm going to go shoot, even if I have to get up at 3 a.m. to go to hit a sunrise in 2.5 to 3 hours away, because I know I'm going to go get to create something that is just beautiful and gorgeous at a location that I get to share with everybody. And that doesn't build stress or anxiety, it builds excitement for me. And that, to me, has shown me in the long run what I wanted to pursue as a photographer. And throughout my career, it's been something I've wanted for a while, is just to be a full-time photographer. And I even have an associate's degree in photography, and it's been something that I haven't been able to pursue due to other things in my life that's happened. And, I don't dwell on those anymore. I used to sit, and I'll be honest with you, used to dwell on those and, harp on myself about it. But the last 3 months have really shown me a lot to get myself to where I'm at now, which is I've done 2 art shows now in the last 2 months. I did one in November. I just did one this past weekend. This is Sunday. You'll see this tomorrow and Monday on the 12th. I did a show on the 10th, and it was only a couple hour show, but I sold a framed 16 by 20 print to somebody, nobody I've never met, who just saw the print and they fell in love with it. And that right there showed me that I can do this. I can show this to a larger audience and actually pursue, more down the road. So some tips that I worked out and I wanted to share with everybody to kind of give you guys a more better understanding of how I got to where I'm at now. So in September, as I said, I started to work through a change of my mindset and go from being, and I admit, I used to be a very negative person about everything. And the minute I changed my negativity into something more positive, I was able to look to the future instead of dwelling on the past. And the big thing that helped me, I found a real TikTok from a motivational speaker named Ed Milet. He's one of the people who actually helped me refocus myself. And by watching his videos and watching his, daily content, he posts some really good stuff. He's a really good person to follow if you want, that motivational person. So the thing I found from him says that believe that you are one decision, one relationship, one meeting, one thought, one something from a completely different life. And honestly, before I saw that, I was getting to that point where I knew I needed something to just kind of trip my brain to be like, okay, this is what you need to do. Working in healthcare, I talk to a lot of people. I talk to a variety of different people from all over the country. And every time I talk to some people I would talk to, and they were just quick phone calls. Other times you would talk to people and it would actually, the phone calls would go the same way. I get into an hour-long conversation with somebody and we would be talking about my dreams, my goals, my passions, and it would always be me talking about doing landscape photography and getting back out there and doing it again. And I'll be honest, I was terrified about doing it again because I have been, beat up about it. I've had some different, onsets about different stuff. And then I found that quote from Ed, and it really did. It hit me really quick. And I was like, okay, it helped a lot to get my mindset. And then as I started to refocus my Facebook page and I was editing photos that I had just completely skipped over from when I had shot them in the past because I just didn't think they were good enough or they could be anything. Watching YouTube videos of fellow colleagues who shoot landscape photography, who's inspired me to do this and to become better at this. I started creating more, or getting more photos that I didn't even know I had. And then I started getting more people following the page. I actually hit over 1,200 followers on my Facebook page recently. And that was something I hadn't done, and it was like, okay, I got more people, getting more people in. My website's been doing better since I've restarted it in September. Restarted that at the end of September. I have a page, I have a store in there, sold prints off of there. Did an art show. I got approved for an art show. I got approved, did another art thing this past weekend. And seeing people look at my work, and I had somebody when I was at my first art show, and I have not been out in the art community in years because of different stuff. Pandemic, the pandemic and everything else that caused problems. I had people comparing my work to Hansel Adams, that is the biggest compliment I could ever receive from somebody because I love Hansel Adams. He's one of my favorite photographers. I love his black and white work in Yosemite. And in Yellowstone, there's just so much great work that he did, and to just have my work compared to him was, that touched me, and it really helped me, reset my mind and stuff. So now I've done 2 shoots since I've restarted. I went to Cataract Falls State Park in Indiana and did some photos at the waterfalls, the lower falls there. And then I went to the lighthouse on Lake Michigan, and I got some really great photos. And I've already, had people interested in buying prints of those and stuff like that. So I know there's a market for it. I know there's this and there's stuff that people want to see. It is just getting to the point of what I want to tell everybody is don't let your past shape your future. Your past is your past. That's your learning. Your future is you and what you want to do and what you focus on in your passions. And that is where I want to tell people is focus on what makes you happy and where you want to go with everything. Because once you do that, the sky's the limit. I have so many goals set out for next year. I wrote a blog a couple weeks back, and it's actually my goals for 2023, and there's some pretty big goals out there, and it's definitely definitely something I want to you know share with people. And this is just me, and I will try to keep myself in check the most I can. I am tracking some of this stuff. My goals for next year is I want to be in 5 art shows or more. I want to be in 3 gallery shows, and I want to at least have one solo gallery exposition that's a month long at the gallery, showing off my work. I want to publish a couple articles this year in some magazines if I can, and then I also want to do 10 magazine publications. That's getting my photos printed, articles printed, both, whatever I can do to get my name out there more, and it's not being commercial and as a commercial photographer, but being an artist and showing people my work. And then also on the other forefront, I want to get to having 3,000 followers on my Facebook page. I'd love to get up to like 2,000 followers on Instagram. That's the hardest one I have a problem with right now. So if anybody's watching and want to share how to build up on Instagram, be happy to listen. That's where I'll admit I have my shortcomings is Instagram. And then the other one is I want my 1,000 followers on YouTube, because that's a big deal for YouTube. The more followers you have, the more your content's being seen by everybody else. So that's definitely something I want to do. And then also for the year, I want to create between 25 and 50 new images by going to different places, even visiting places that I've been in the past, reshooting photos, trying to recompose things, use knowledge that I have, and create, photos for everybody. And then the last thing is I want to start creating weekly videos for everybody. And I also want to create weekly blog posts to share with people what's going on with me, what I'm doing, where I'm going, where I'm traveling, and then as I'm creating images, I also want to do some live videos, like out in when I can, and I have cell phone reception stuff, do a live video of me actually shooting, a sunrise, a sunset, a location, to kind of share with you guys and give you guys that moment with me. Then when I'm done, I can go back and edit and be like, this is the photo I took at that time that we did the live shoot, and this is the result of it. I want to get people engaged and want to keep people, I want people to see my passion in this, and I want people to understand that photography to me is not it's not a hobby, it's not a passion, it's a profession that I'm very passionate about, that I want to give back what I've been given to me, and to share with people, to help people, who might be thinking about doing the same thing that I'm getting ready to start doing. It's an adventure, and it's probably going to be the biggest adventure I take, but I want people to be in there with me. So, if I can help you guys out in any way, let me know. Be happy to help. You guys can, if you guys like what you're seeing, please give likes on the videos. Go ahead and subscribe, and I'll be happy to share everything. And, next week I'm going to hopefully have some, either I'm going to have a review video. I have an idea for some stuff that I'm going to do, and so share some stuff. And maybe, if the winter does hit in the Midwest, we can actually get some snow photos. But until then, I will see you guys next week. You guys have a great week.